On the backbench is David Smith.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the Secretary of State for her clear and positive response to the Supreme Court's ruling. I, like her, before I was elected into this place, ran a North East-based homelessness charity for 8 years. And I have to say, contrary to some of the debate in the last few days, and actually even in this place today, it is almost always possible to find a solution where you can support people on a single-sex basis and those who identify as transgender. So, and I have to add, I should say, Madam Deputy Speaker, that was the last 8 years that I did that was not helped by the total lack of clarity by the government, the Conservative government that was. So does the Secretary of State agree with me that it is important to reaffirm that under the Equality Act, trans people remain protected from discrimination under the protected characteristic of gender reassignment, and that the Supreme Court ruling is focused on clarifying protections that have always existed in the Equality Act based on the protected characteristic of sex?
He is right, Madam Deputy Speaker, in his assessment, and I pay tribute to the work that my honourable friend did over many years where it comes to supporting homeless young people and homeless people across the North East. I agree with him that it has always been possible to ensure that single-sex spaces were delivered on the basis of biological sex under the Equality Act, but I am glad that providers can now be absolutely confident and crystal clear. But one thing I would just observe in addition is that those rights were hard fought and hard won and received significant pushback over many periods of time. He will have doubtless had the same experience that I had, where commissioners would suggest that mixed-sex accommodation was appropriate, where in many cases we were talking about vulnerable young women who had been exposed to sexual violence, including sexual abuse within the home, and what they wanted and what they needed was single-sex accommodation. And it is important in that context that we ensure that services are available in an appropriate manner for anyone who needs them. And that does mean that on occasion, trans people will also require separate provision so that their needs can be properly met, their healthcare needs, their support needs, and where they may be facing abuse and intimidation.